Hey guys, welcome back to AFK Journey. In today's video, I wanted to go through a couple things. The first is that I finally found a way to make Smokey deal damage to the Necrodrakon with his third ultimate. Now, this is not going to be something that everyone's going to do. It is using Talene in the combo, and whales probably have more options with like Tamesia and Rainier and stuff like that. But I wanted to show you guys because I thought it's an interesting thing that leads us to, I just like finding ways to abuse mechanics in a game or cheese your way around them. So I want to show you guys that one and talk about my general performance of Talene in bossing over the last week or so, because I've been quite impressed. Now, I am not telling, this is not a go build Talene. It's not anything to do with building Talene. I'm not recommending that. I'm just showing it for those who have decided to go ahead and build her, so you guys can see what is happening with Talene. And I just want to go show you guys just some of the charts and stuff that is happening with my Talene so far. I will do my priority video probably tomorrow. That video will come out where I go through the full priority list. But I'm not telling you to go ahead and build Talene, because anytime I do a Talene showcase, someone's always like, stop telling everyone to build Talene. I'm not doing that. This is just for showcase sake. So let's get into it. Now, I want to show you guys the run first of all of this, and then we'll go through my rankings that I've achieved, because I've managed to get top 10 in 3 of the bosses. If we manage to stay top 10 in this one, which is still early days, so I don't think we will, but that would be 4 bosses that I've managed to be top 10 on my server. Now, once again, that is not a flex. My server is very free to play, so it is much easier to compete. But let's jump in, and I want to show you guys this run. So Necrodrakon, let's take a look at my run here. So if we quickly take a look at the formation that I've got here, you can see the key thing is I've got Smokey in the front. Now, also, Talene does have to be Supreme to do this, because she needs the plus 15 on her exclusive equipment to give the revive to Smokey. And basically, what we are relying on here is Smokey dying, coming back, but the key thing with it is that when we look at the thing, because the reason your units run out of being able to ultimate against this boss, specifically Smokey, and he never manages to deal damage, is because when the it explodes, the ring that goes around them, if they don't move, it explodes after 15 seconds, and then it will after the explosion deals 110% damage to enemies, reducing their energy gain efficiency by 10%, attack yada yada, stacks up to 2 times, cannot be dispelled. But basically, due to the energy reduction that we get sapped, we don't manage to get Smokey's ultimate on the third ultimate normally. But because of Talene, used all my attacks, my bad, because of Talene's revive here, what happens is Smokey actually dies. Smokey dies during the second ring, so the ring doesn't get to explode on him, and then when he comes back, he hasn't got that reduced energy recovery, so he manages to get around to his third ultimate and actually put out probably about 6 seconds of damage in this fight. So I want to go ahead and show you guys that one, and this is by far my best score that I've managed to get on my account. Anything besides this, I'm looking at around the 29 to 30 billion range, but this one we did manage to get into the 33 range. So there you can see, there's the first ring that's just exploded on him. He's got the reduction, you can see the debuff on him. So now he dies here during that second ring. So now he doesn't have the ring on him, and it is not getting applied to him again. And as you can see, there is the ring. So now he's got the ring on, and we want to get our ultimate off before that ring finishes. And as you can see, boom, we get that ultimate, and now we've got the blue haze that is going, and he finally dies. But we do get, like, I think it was about 6 seconds. It was on × 3 speed, but I think it's about 6 seconds of that ultimate to get that extra damage boost. And for the damage boost that we get, you can see here, that's an extra basically 2 billion damage that Smokey managed to pump out just by getting into that extra ult. Now, once again, I am not saying that this is the best team or anything like that. If I had a Supreme plus Tamesia, I would 100% be using her, because she has all the extra physical death shreds and stuff like that. She would be my option in there. And if you have a Rainier, I do think he is probably just better general for this boss. But I just thought it was interesting to see that we can get around some of these mechanics by using some other mechanics that they put into the game. So I was pretty happy with that one. As you can see, we're at 33 billion. Top on server is 35. There is still 21 hours to go, so I do think I will end up between 10 and 20 on this boss at the end of the day, but we'll have to wait and see. But I did want to go ahead and show you guys where I've managed to finish in the last 2. I did a video, unfortunately we don't go back far enough. I think this one was Alpha Bear, where I got 17th. I can't remember exactly which one it was, but the one before that was the lone Gaze, where I managed to get rank 10, and then I've managed to get a rank 8 and rank 9. Now, I mentioned in another video, it is because my levels are creeping up to the level cap for bossing. But also, I just wanted to have a look at some of the replays so I can show you guys that if you did decide, once again, not telling you go for Talene, if you did decide to go for Talene, you know, you can still work around. She is a bit tricky to work around to get the damage, but you can still do some workarounds. So as you can see here, when we look through, everyone's doing pretty much the same strategy on my server. Once again, I'm not a very whale heavy server, so I think it's a good server to look at to see, you know, what kind of strats people are using. You do see we do have some Scar leaders in here, but in general, most people are just using their Rainier because most free-to-play players go for the Rainier. Some people do have the Freyesto that they've slapped in there as well. And you can see this one is me just here. And if we take a look at it, you can see we are getting some decent damage out of it. I'm not going to do the full replays and stuff like that, but I do find often we are getting good results by putting Smokey at the front and getting the flame on him so that if Smokey does die, he can come back to life and continue that healing. And this one we are protecting the Marilee, and we get some pretty good overall protection in Skyclops with this kind of team, with Kroer for the extra damage and shielding as well. And you can see what we're ending up with. But I just want to show you guys just relative investment of my account versus some of these Rainier accounts. Now, obviously, this is just data that I'm trying to show that, once again, if you do decide to build a character, if you can work around, you can do like okay things with them. So if you look here, you can see I am level 500. Everyone above me is in general higher levels. Now from 500 to 550, it's only a 10 level difference because of the way that the levels squish. So if my account's level 500, their account's level 550, when you go into the battle, I'll be 500, they'll be 510, is basically what I'm saying, the way it looks like. But you can see that. You can also see that a lot of people above me do have the higher upgraded artifacts, 21, 22, 21. I am still at that level 20 on it. The other thing is I don't have crazy investment into sorry, where am I? Okay, there we go. I got lost. But yeah, you can see, sorry, 21, 21, 20. Okay, this dude was 20 as well. 21, 22. You can see that kind of general gist. But you can see over here, if you look at my Marilee and my Corrin's only at +5. My Spokey's at +5. My Marilee's at +10. My Thorin's at +5. Now, obviously, my Talene is invested because she is the one I chose to go into. But if you look at my Marilee here, you can see I still don't have the final charm that I'm trying to get. My Thorin's got 1 charm, so I'm not very well charmed out or built out on my characters, but we are still managing to somewhat compete in the ranges of the Rainier pushes. Now, I'm really curious to see how I go once we get to level like 550, 560 and stuff like that on my account, and we get some upgrades into my artifacts, but that's just sort of where we're at. So we did manage to do not too bad damage. You can compare that to where I would fall on your server. Like I said, I'm not saying it's better than a Rainier comp, but just showing you that it is possible to do something. Keeping in mind that this is a Talene at Supreme. Just Supreme. I kept trying to say plus on the end and then holding it. And then that's only a Mythic plus Rainier, so there is extra investment on my account there, obviously. But let's go back to the other fight. What was the other one I mentioned? I've shown Logan Gaze in another video, but the Kroer one as well. So I want to show you guys the Kroer one, where I think I finished 9th or something like that on server. Obviously, in my district, I'm a bit lower, but you can see here, once again, that is where I am. This dude's at 540. We're at 510, 610. You know, you get the general gist. Just managing to still push a decent amount with it. And this one was very interesting. So this is where you can get into some interesting plays, and following what the top person does is not always going to be the best thing for every account. This was a completely random build that I ended up doing where I put a Marilee in the front so that she could revive with the Talene, which actually turned out to be my best damage. And like I said, that got me either, what was it, 8th, 9th, or 10th on server for this one. But you can see here, it's just about playing through different strategies, and I use all 20 attacks every day, just trying to experiment, find something that's going to work. If I find something that I think works really well, then I will go back into it and keep trying it for RNG to try and get higher damage. But I thought this was another really interesting one. You can see here, so the Kroer, a lot of free-to-play players might be using Coco here to still survive the bombs. Managed to get away with it, and as you can see here, Kroer's going to do another bomb there. No one dead yet, which is pretty clutch at 25 seconds in. You can see we're at the 35. Here we go. There's another one. We're about to get the other bomb. and then merrily jumps away from it. She dies again. She comes back for the last couple seconds, and there she goes. She gets that. Now, once again, it was only a couple seconds, but it did manage to creep me into my highest damage range. You could see that we did manage to survive pretty decently into it, but that's just a look. Like I said, I just wanted to show you guys what I've been doing, how my Talene's performing. I thought it was pretty fun to actually get my Smokey to go ahead and use the third ult on the Necrodrakon. Unfortunately, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get him to do it for a longer period of time. And maybe if I swap charms around, get some more charms, I might be able to manipulate that more. I'll test it again next time he comes around. But yeah, in general, you know, depending on what you've built, don't be afraid to try different things to what you see in the ladder, because everyone's account's different. I can't use Tamisha teams because my Tamisha isn't built enough. She's not getting the value. Yes, she still gets the value out of her seasonal ability, which gives you more damage amplification, but you are missing the Supreme Plus, which gives you that additional amplification. Plus, I am lacking the self-healing that she has from her exclusive equipment. So, you know, you can go ahead and you can experiment with different things and see what you can find. I just always enjoy trying different things. Like, for instance, this guy here, this was pretty cool because this guy's only level 540 and 550 here. And you can see he's got the Mythic plus Rainier, but he is using the double copy of Talene, the Epic Plus, to go ahead and actually do some decent damage. And Talene's just operating as a bit of a heal bot for the team there. So you can get different strategies along the way. I have seen a lot more Kroegers coming into some replays as well. You can see we get some built Kroegers. Unfortunately, for a lot of free-to-play players, you're not going to have a Kroeger built to the point where he's really going to compete for you, unless you've just had a ton of RNG into the Maulers, because normally you're going for Smokey, you're going for Coco, a lot of people going for Antandra as well, myself included. But yeah, if you do have the built Kroeger, you know, he's coming back. But once again, it is getting towards the tail end of the season, so we might see some different stuff next season. So I'm sort of like just in conservation mode, just trying to do the best with what I have at the moment until we get into the next season, see new seasonal abilities, new power systems in the season, and see how it goes. But anyway, guys, that is all I wanted to go through. As always, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.